Charleston White has officially landed himself in serious legal heat once again after reports confirmed he was arrested for jumping a young man affiliated with AIN, who allegedly shot him previously. And what's even crazier is that Charleston was supposed to be on a straight path after his recent release, but now this violent retaliation may have just sent him right back behind bars for good. Charleston White, one of the most controversial and unpredictable figures in hip-hop commentary, street justice, and social media sensationalism, has once again made headlines in a dramatic, almost cinematic fashion. This time, the situation spiraled from an alleged attempt at personal revenge after an earlier shooting left Charleston wounded, humiliated, and angry. According to early reports that have since been picked up by several outlets, a young man, rumored to be connected to the AIN crew, allegedly fired shots at Charleston White in what many believe was a targeted move either due to old beef or to silence Charleston's inflammatory public statements. But instead of working through the legal system or letting authorities handle it, Charleston chose violence, and not just metaphorically. Insiders close to the street-level events say Charleston was enraged after the shooting incident. Even though he publicly played it cool, saying he was blessed to be alive and focus on healing, there was a storm brewing beneath the surface. Charleston White reportedly gathered several of his closest boys, a crew loyal to him and willing to put their freedom on the line, and set up an ambush. The target? The same AIN youngin' who allegedly pulled the trigger on Charleston. What happened next has shocked even those used to the wild antics of the street prophet himself. According to arrest records and leaked witness statements, Charleston and his gang jumped the young man in broad daylight. No masks, no attempt at secrecy, just raw retaliation. It happened outside a convenience store that's been known to attract local rappers and affiliates in the city. The victim was reportedly beaten so badly he had to be hospitalized, and what made matters worse for Charleston was that it was all caught on surveillance video. The footage allegedly shows Charleston leading the charge, yelling and personally throwing blows as if he was making a statement, not just to the victim but anyone watching. When officers arrived on the scene shortly after, they didn't have to do much investigating. Between witness accounts, video footage, and Charleston's infamous habit of documenting everything online, even posting cryptic warnings days before the altercation, it didn't take long for law enforcement to identify him as the ringleader in the assault. Charleston White was swiftly taken into custody, where he remains as of now. While some speculate he could bond out, sources close to law enforcement say this might be the nail in the coffin. Why? Because Charleston White wasn't just any free man walking the streets. He was already on thin ice with law enforcement, ever since his prior release, linked to several other confrontations and weapons charges. Charleston was being watched. He had parole conditions, community service requirements, and even a few unclosed investigations still in the background. And now, with this new violent charge, especially one caught on video, Charleston could very well be facing not just assault charges, but gang enhancement penalties, probation violations, and possibly federal detention. But what's even more fascinating is how the streets are reacting. Charleston has always been a polarizing figure. To some, he's the raw voice of reason, a no-filter elder who calls out street culture, snitches, and rappers with zero remorse. To others, he's reckless, disrespectful, and constantly plays with fire. This incident may finally force both sides to ask a hard question. Has Charleston White finally crossed the line for the last time? Now, let's talk about the alleged shooter, the AIN youngin' who was jumped. According to whispers on the street, this kid had been bragging quietly in his circle about the Charleston situation. Whether he actually pulled the trigger or was simply being used as a front remains unclear. Some say he was just a pawn, the kind Charleston usually roasts in his videos. But when you build a platform on provoking people, calling names, exposing secrets, and threatening retaliation, it's only a matter of time before the game turns real. And that's exactly what happened here. Charleston's attack was clearly personal, and that emotion is part of what's likely to destroy his legal defense. Prosecutors are reportedly building their case around Charleston's own online behavior, including interviews, live streams, and Twitter rants where he hints at getting revenge. In one video, days before the attack, Charleston looked into the camera and said, "Some of y'all young punks gone feel what I felt. You shoot at me. I ain't calling no police. I am the police." Powerful words, but now those very words might be used to indict him. Even more shocking, some insiders claim Charleston reached out to people in high places trying to get the charges downplayed, but even those contacts are beginning to back off. After all, nobody wants to be caught helping a man who just committed a gang-style retaliation while on parole. The optics are terrible, especially since Charleston has always painted himself as an anti-gang advocate, preaching community healing and condemning street violence. And yet here he is now, front and center in a beatdown that could cost him everything. What makes it worse is that Charleston has long claimed the moral high ground. In interviews, he'd slam rappers for promoting violence, mock those who retaliated without legal recourse, and even troll grieving mothers of slain gang members. So now that he's taken justice into his own hands, violently, the hypocrisy is loud, very loud. Some of his own supporters are beginning to fall back. One anonymous fan account tweeted, "We stood with Charleston when he spoke truth to power, but now he's just another street thug pretending to be woke." That tweet got over 10,000 retweets in 24 hours.